Hey guys, it's me. For those of you who may not know me yet, my name is Janelle. Officially, I go by Dr. Janelle Whitehead or Dr. J, or Blondale or Tigger or a jillion other names depending upon what's going on that day. But I thought I'd share just a quick story, as quick as I can, because those of you who know me know that I can be very wordy. But I'm pretty much a very happy-go-lucky 44-year-old gal, originally Texan, even though I have lived in the UK a couple of different times, and I probably will go back there at some point. But anyway, been in Grapevine for, well, quite a while, I guess about 12 years now. Grew up in the Texas Panhandle. I took a sabbatical over across the Frog Pond to England as an exchange student. Came back, worked for Southwest Airlines somehow, randomly, but not so randomly because God is divine design and everything that he orchestrates. Ended up going to chiropractic school. I'm one of 7 in my family as far as chiropractors. They're all up in the Texas Panhandle, and of course I'm the only one in the Metroplex. But anyway, long and short of the story, I took a small detour in Phoenix, Arizona. I was there for a couple of years. That's where my first practice was. And then worked as hard as I could to get back to Texas as quick as I possibly could. So I've been in Grapevine for a while. So my story really begins for this particular point, if you will, 2012. So I've been in Grapevine for a couple of years, practiced on Main Street, and then in a very teeny office, and moved into a much larger office next to what used to be Brahms. I shared a parking lot with Brahms. And so in 2012, this beautiful little, I'm going to call her my angel soul sister, Janet, waltzed into my office, massage therapist. I had been in another office, and due to various different things in her life, she literally had her massage table in the back of her car, and had found about me through another friend of hers and another doctor, and showed up in my office the day after, I guess the Monday after a 4th of July weekend. And so my office was a madhouse, and my front desk person said that, hey, you know, she snowed under. We've had a couple of office emergencies after the holiday. You know, she's going to be a while. And little Miss Janet said, you know what, I'm not doing anything, so I'm just going to stay and wait it out. So that precious soul sister waited for an hour for me, and we sat and we chatted, and she told me her story. And she happened to be wearing this blue shirt that said changed. And so we're getting into the story and why she needed a space in my office to continue her incredible business as a massage therapist. But I asked her about the shirt, and she said, well, this is the shirt that I got for free. Last weekend I was baptized. I was like, where are you baptized? And she said, this place called Keystone. I said, Keystone? You know, I've heard of that, but I don't know anything about it. And she says, well, it's over in Keller, kind of Fort Worth-ish. And, you know, she says, the shirt means a lot to me. And she says, my life was very, very different before. And anyway, Janet continued to stay a part of my office for 5 years. Became an incredible girl as far as friendship. We didn't really hang out much in the beginning, and then, you know, as we got to got past the Hugway Hall, which we nicknamed it that because we rarely saw one another, but every time we did, passing the hallway in my office, we'd give each other a quick hug and, you know, hi, how are you doing, and then on our way. So fast forward a couple of years, and I walked through a divorce. And it was my choice. I kind of had foreshadowing a few years prior to that. And I didn't want to be the third divorce in my family. But it was the right thing for me. And, you know, we all have stories on that. if you know me personally, you know what it was like to be in my tribe when I walked through that, because I never thought that that would be the case. I come from an incredible family with parents who have been married for 50 some odd years, 54 years actually. My parents have been together, they're 80. They don't look it or act it, and they're amazing. But anyway, 2 parents, 2 brothers, and me. I'm the baby and the only girl. So I walked through a divorce, a very, very messy divorce in 2014. And somehow, my shadows and I, Jalen and Josh, Jalen is now 14. Those of you at Keystone know my daughter. People call her my mini-me. And she used to think it was cool. Now she doesn't, because, 14 going on 23. And then I have Josh, and Josh just turned 10 on January 1st. So that seed for Keystone was planted in 2012. I walked through the divorce in 2014, and at the time we were going to Gateway, and I love Gateway. It's an amazing church. Pastor Morris really spoke life into me multiple times, and same with pretty much that is a spirit-filled church. It's incredible, but it's huge and it's massive. And when I started to finally get my quote-unquote life back together, I seemed okay from the outside, but on the inside it was falling apart. I knew that I needed a different church, and so we church shopped, and I kept hearing about different ones, different areas. Keystone was brought up, Milestone, the Mount. I really wanted to be in Grapevine, but God had a different plan on that one. And another little angel walked into my office, and he happens to be a very seasoned pastor, and he's from Elverd, way up there, north of Decatur. And we had some heart-to-heart conversations. At the time, I thought maybe I'll do a cowboy church or something really small. I really needed a place for the kids to plug in, because I grew up in church. I grew up in summer camp, church camp, ski trips, random stuff, little bitty small town America. And I knew that that's what I needed for my kids, because I knew that my life wasn't in a place that I could breathe into them the way I knew that I needed to. So I needed a church family to do that. And so this beautiful little angel told me, he goes, Dr. J, if you want a good church, you need to find one that really speaks to your kids through music. And I said, you know what, that's perfect. I need a church that's lively. It's fun, and it's hip, and it's cool, and it's small enough where I can plug in. I'm not ready right now, but I know I need that. And he goes, you ought to think about Keystone. I said, Keystone? You know what? Janet went there. Janet was baptized there. Holy smokes, there was this blue shirt that came straight back in my brain. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check it out. It took a while, because we kept going back and forth between Gateway and various other churches, and then not regular. A lot of times we watched church online because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to go to church with just me and my kids, and I don't know why. I think it's just, again, walking through the season of divorce and living your life in a fishbowl as I do in Grapevine. And my life's on social media because, we have to market somehow, but I never got on social media for business. I got on social media because I thought Facebook actually came from England, because all my English friends in 2007 kept requesting me to friend me on Facebook. And I'm like, what's this British stuff? And so I got on Facebook to connect with all my British friends from the UK from 93, 94. Then, of course, there's the blonde moment. Find out that, wow, Mark Zuckerberg and all this other stuff. Anyway, I digress. But so kids and I started going to Keystone in the summer of 2016. Actually, it was the summer of 2017, I guess. Yeah, 2017. Wow. Now it's 2020. How did anyway, whatever. Time. It does really weird things. So we started going, and I love the music. And I love Brandon. And I didn't even know who Susan was because I thought she was just part of the praise team. And again, embarrassment. I'm like, dang, that girl can sing. And who's this young pastor? And I felt, oddly enough, I felt home. So we went, and, we kind of dipped our toes in the Keystone water for a bit, but I did feel good. I felt better. It took a while. We joined officially, did the whole starting point, whatever y'all call it, and it's about to be called something different now, whatever. Anyway, the video and just, there's so many details with Keystone that's just completely different. I love the fact that you don't have the whole thing up in the front of of the church at the end of a sermon, because that always made me feel weird. I loved Gateway and how they did different things, and then Keystone, just every aspect. And the kids were going through some bad, rough stuff at that point in time, because we're still dealing with, even though the divorce was final, the drama, the drama of co-parenting. When you think you figured it all out, you haven't. Or at least I didn't. And I was unfortunately creating plenty of my own drama and not realizing that I was. When you don't have a healed heart, but you think you do. Life is different there too. But anyway, long and short of it, and this is really long now, but Keystone met me where I was at, and took me to the next level. And so we started getting involved a little bit more. I think in the fall or the spring, I really don't know. It's all blurry now. Jalen started going to the Wednesday nights, the student night. And, Josh would come with me and do the kid thing. And then I volunteered a little bit with the students, and I just couldn't be consistent. I tried to volunteer for production and light and met some incredible people, and then it's like life just kept happening and I couldn't be consistent with anything, and then I was traveling and various other stuff. And so I have a completely different story about what happened with Jalen in summer camp last year, but Jalen almost didn't get to go because it was her dad's week, and her dad at the time had been out of work for a really long time, and Jalen was supposed to watch Josh, babysit, as siblings do. And because the kid's dad at the time didn't have money for daycare or hadn't made arrangements, he pretty much said Jalen couldn't go to camp. The enemy did everything possible to try to keep my daughter from going to camp that year. And let's just say that there were some altercations that ended up with both of us calling the police, and both of us ended up at the police station in Grapevine. I don't know how we did it, but I got my daughter to camp. Jalen had already become a Christian a couple years before, but she needed that week because her heart was hurting just as bad as mine was, because she'd never seen or heard her father speak in the tone and the voice and with the word choice that are not allowed on this video. Again, my daughter, for the first time in 5 years of being with co-parenting divorced parents, first time she'd ever seen her father act the way he did towards me, because he thought the kids weren't listening. And he's a good man. He really is. He's an excellent father. Some people are not meant to stay married. And that's hard, because biblically I really thought that you commit this horrible sin when you go through a divorce. But, you know, growing up Southern Baptist, they, mother, father, teacher, preacher, you end up with kind of messed up paradigms sometimes. So, anyway, I just want to say thank you to Keystone. This is not an easy story, and I'm still growing a lot. But Keystone helped heal my heart in areas that I didn't. Number one, I didn't realize they were broken. And I've met some amazing, amazing people, and I'm still trying to get plugged in. I want to give a shout out to Jill Hand and her husband, and of course Brandon and Susan, and the parents of all of y'all. You guys have given me hugs when I most needed them. You've lifted me up. You've made me laugh. You've made me cry. My kids, they're like, Mom, are you crying in church again? Yeah, Jalen, I am. And, you know, there's healing in the story of our scars. When tears happen, and I cry a whole lot more now than I ever used to, but there's a lot of tears of joy. There's tears of sacrifice. There's tears of, of perseverance, of happiness, of bliss, of joy. And you know what? Our Heavenly Father's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And someday I'm going to help with a church in England, in Newcastle, where I used to live. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. But I'm looking to plant there. I'm not a pastor, but I'm connected to some really amazing people who are so gifted in that area. So I don't know, Keystone, if you want an international church, I got the contacts in a little place called Newcastle, England, and fair enough, I know Brandon's brother was in the UK for a while, and I think that's great. Life has some pretty insane roller coasters, and this has gone on way too long, but again, I want to say thank you guys, because y'all picked me up when I was completely falling apart, and all you did was love on me. You didn't know my story. You didn't know how broken I was. Still am. Still working on it, because healing is forever. But, you know, I just wanted to say thanks. Y'all have an amazing day. Thank you.